Hello peeps, and welcome to another episode on my channel. A slightly different episode than usual, and that's one reason for this, and that's the fact that we have a new patch. A new patch in the game. And what makes this patch different from the usual ones? Yeah, this patch included the ruler designer, a thing that we used to have in CK2, but we haven't so far had in CK3. It's a new thing that makes it possible for you to create your own character the way you want him or her to be. And I find that kind of exciting. I love the rule designer in CK2, mainly because of the differences it made to you, like how it made it possible for you to role play in your own way. You could basically create yourself inside the game and have some fun, or just create your character however you want him to be. And in this game, it's going to be even more possible than it used to be, which I'm going to show to you in a second. And there's also been some new things added to the game except the rule designer as well. For example, we now have a character kill list which you can watch, so you can to see easily accessible every person that another person has killed, if you know about it, of course. You can also attach armies to each other, which is going to make it easier when you have a lot of allies. They're not going to do stupid shit and run around doing basically nothing. You can actually attach them to your armies now, making it easier for you to collaborate with your allies, making wars easier in itself. There's also a lot of things being changed when it comes to balancing with some great holy wars and stuff, and also that you have a game rule now that's going to make it possible for you to control how willing the AI is to do matrilineal marriage, which is going to make, for example, Mother of Us All, stuff like that, easier if you're playing in a female-dominated culture, stuff like that, making those kinds of campaigns easier, I guess. There's also been some stuff done to the men-at-arms as well, and as I said, the Great Holy Wars, mainly. And they changed the AI a bit, that they are going to do some slightly different stuff. Basically become smarter than usually. And we have some interface tweaks, not really big ones. And localizations, we have some game content. So we now, if you get discovered doing a scheme, this tell you your scheme has been discovered. But the only thing that this does is the fact that you gain less intrigue. Like you get less scheme success chance, you gain less secrecy. With this new patch, it's going to be possible for you to actually get caught. They're going to know it's you that is trying to kill them. That's a nice change in my opinion. There's also 4 new murder outcomes. There's 2 more child murder outcomes. Kind of interesting. There's a new fate that's replacing the Sumanesque one. It's called Turmic. There's some new claim throne schemes. There's some new fabricate hook schemes, seduction schemes. We have hostages and prisoners of war, which is a new thing. 2 more murder events. People will not like the fact you're going to raid them. Obviously, they're not going to like the fact you're raiding them. There's some new stuff with religious relations. There's some changes to a specific religion. And you can also become infirm. That's something that you used to have in CK2. When you became old, you could become infirm. It's a good thing that they have added that. It's a slightly more realistic thing that they have added into the game. There's also something inside they changed some stuff with the databases, with some names and stuff like that. But then there's also the bug fixes, and they are kind of interesting, some of them. For example, the university. We had this problem with universities before, that you need to have all of the universities for you to get the effect of having a university, to send your children off to university. And the reason this happened was because they had, instead of saying or, they only said and, which meant you have to have all of the universities inside the game files then. And they've changed this now. So you're only going to need 1 university to get the benefits of having university, which is a very nice thing. It's going to make universities useful without having to mod the game. They've also changed, they say this here, Charlemagne is more lustful. It's not like you can play as him. He's more lustful now, apparently. They also cleaned up the Roman restoration decision. I wonder what that means, basically. I wonder if that's, because we realized this in my Roman restoration campaign, that when you create Rome, you're losing your crown laws. You're losing, or not the crown laws, but you're losing the succession laws. It's going from primogeniture to high partition, which is terrible. It's not really that realistic. It's not like you're forgetting about how you did Succession because you're creating a new title. It doesn't make sense. So hopefully that's what they mean when they change that. I hope at least. Then there's a lot of other things like people may wear more appropriate clerical garb, stuff like that. Um, Fixed some crash issues, stuff like that as well. Um, it's not. There's a lot of smaller things basically. Franconian culture now uses German names. I guess that's a good thing. Um, Golden obligations no longer increases ransom prices. I noticed that inside my game because when you have golden obligations, that increases ransom sizes a lot. Like you can gain like 300 gold for ransoming a count or someone extremely unknown. It doesn't make sense. Okay. It's now criminal to refuse conversion even if the religions aren't the same. Nice. I like that. Offering vassalization to neighboring realms will no longer sometimes claim that they are far from your realm. Thank you, Paradox. I've noticed this so much playing as the Roman Empire. Trying to vassalize people that I was clearly bordering, but they say, no, minus 300 or 500 or something like that, because we're not neighbors. Doesn't make sense. So I love that. It's awesome. And then there's some other stuff. I don't think it's that important to talk about right now. You could check this out. You can check all of this out yourself. I'm going to put a link to the game files or the patch notes, basically, in the description of this episode or this video. So if there's something you want to check out, you can do it yourself. But I was thinking about going inside the game and try out Ruler Designer. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so here we are. Just a slight cutter to get the game going. So we're going to look at the Ruler Designer. So I'm going to pick a country here, Sweden, because I'm Swedish, if you didn't know. And then you have this new selection thing here. Create your own ruler, which we're going to select now. I'm just going to look at the game rules first, because they said this thing about you have this gender equality, matrilineal marriages. So you can now change this. So female dominated and equal. That makes sense. I like that. Because this was an issue. So this is a slight difference here. Never, because I'm on YouTube. Create your own ruler. So you can pick your sex. I'm a male. You can pick your sexual orientation. I'm straight. You can also be homo, bi, and asexual. You can also pick your fate. And this is kind of interesting because now we had the issue in the base game that you could have become Hellenic if we were playing as the Roman Empire, because the cost when it comes to piety to become Hellenic is atrocious, like 100k piety, stuff like that. So you can actually pick Hellenic now from the beginning. And you can actually also pick, if we go here to Latin, you can now play as Roman. Here you go, guys. You can finally play as a Roman inside this game, which before weren't possible. It was possible inside the game files, but it weren't possible for you to become Roman in-game. So I really like the fact that they have changed that. I'm just going to see if I can find Swedish again. Obviously not West Germanic. Is there North Germanic? Here we go. It's a Swedish. We're just going to see if we randomize a Swedish name. These are more Norse name in all honesty. That's kind of a Swedish name. If you don't know Swedish, that's actually guinea pig. They're trying to call my dynasty guinea pig. No, thank you. That's not a word. Okay? Paradox is Swedish, and they don't know Swedish dynasty name. That's actually a real one. And that's a real one as well. This is weird. I think there was actually a king called Magnus Bilke of Sweden. So you can change your coat of arms. I'm just going to use the Swedish ones. The Swedish one. Oh, that's my dynasty coat of arms. You can randomize it. And that seems fine. So you have this customization points. If you go above this limit, you cannot play Iron Man or get the achievement. You can still play Iron Man, but you can't get achievements. I'm not playing on Iron Man right now, so it doesn't matter. But if you get above this point, you cannot play with achievements. You can basically make your guy as good as you want to. But if you make him too good, you can't play with achievements. So you can pick your education here. I'm just going to pick a random diplomacy trait. This one. I'm going to pick 3 free. Why is gluttonous a positive thing? Probably because of the like stress class or something. I'm going to lustful, diligent, and which other one then? Hmm. Zealous. That seems fine. Then we can pick some other traits possibly. So we could probably pick stuff like, yeah, genius and robust and stuff here. So Herculean is insane. Genius is even more insane, obviously. Strong and shrewd is kind of hard to get in game. They're good traits to have if you can get them, but it doesn't really matter because you can't inherit them. So I'm going to be quick. I'm going to try to keep my guy kind of low on this. And then we can increase skills. So I'm going to increase my intrigue because I like intrigue. And diplomacy, some more martial. We are Swedish, we need some prowess as well. There we go, just below 400. We can also change our appearance. So we're going for Northern. I probably shouldn't have done that. Holy shit. Those templates are terrible. Okay, so we have the body. Medium seems like fine. This is only for women. Height, colors. The color seems nice. Head and neck. So we could. Oh, okay. You could get a real like horse face if you want to. That's gonna be kind of normal. Seems fine. No, I don't want the big forehead. No, it feels like those are the bad things to go for. Ear angle. Okay. I feel like I'm making my guy look extremely weird now. Okay. Interesting. Facial structure. So chic definition. Is there any difference? I don't see any difference. Do you see any difference? Okay, so it's actually going inside, making you look like Angelina Jolie or something like that. Interesting. For some reason, it's making you it look really like dark and stuff as well. Looks like it hasn't eaten for a long time. I was gonna change that cheek forward. Getting really fat cheeks. No, thank you. He looks malnourished though. That's the problem. Okay, slightly. No, I'm really making me look malnourished. I'm not good at this. The width, no. Definition. You can probably play around with this for a long time if you want to. I don't think this is doing anything right now. There's a lot of things you could potentially do. Just pick eye color. I got green eyes. We're going for that one. They seem fine. I'm not going to play around too much with this. It's going to be kind of a short video, hopefully. Your nose and mouth. There's a lot of things you could obviously play around with. Apparently no hairstyles though. I feel like my game is bugging out on me because I have no hairstyles to pick from. You could still do this in game, of course. So it's fine. That's probably the reason why. So finished appearance. He's looking kind of malnourished. Magnus Bilke of Sweden. Finalize. Yeah, submit. And play. So here we are inside the game. So we've got to look at some stuff. So here is we're supposed to have a kill list now. I don't think we can find it yet because we haven't killed anyone. There's going to be a kill list inside the game. It's going to be here close to your character. Like if we look at another one, it's supposed to be around at least. We can't see it right now. Okay. Interesting. But there are some, as I said, we have this new religion here, Yukonusku, I think it's called, instead of Sumoniski. We have those two religions as well. They have changed around a bit with the religion. That's nice to know. I like that. It makes things feel like more organic, feel more like the real thing. But so far this patch seems like a very good addition. Having the ruler designer inside the game is a very good addition. I think I had to pay for it in CK2, and in this game we're getting it free, and I really appreciate that. Not having to pay for the ruler designer. I think we had to pay for it in CK2, I'm not sure. don't don't quote me as a source on that. I don't know actually. I think it's going to be kind of fun because now you can actually make your own characters and roleplay a bit more with the ruler designer. Because you can make this guy, you can make up his entire life story, you can make him look however you want him to look like and stuff like that. And you can roleplay as him. You can basically insert yourself into the game. I'm not going to try to do it because, as you saw, I'm terrible at using the sliders for faces. It's not going to happen. For example, you can play as a Roman now, and that's going to be interesting. To try, for example, start as like a one county count inside the Byzantine Empire as a Roman with the Hellenic faith and trying to become the emperor. That would be a nice challenge. That might be a challenge I would like to try in the future. Write in the comment section if you want me to do that in the future. Write in the comment section if you want me to do anything special with the ruler designer and a special campaign overall actually. But that's basically everything that I'm going to go through in this episode, guys. Just trying out this patch for a few seconds, checking how stuff has changed. I like that. It seems like they added a lot of nice additions to the game. Stuff that probably should have been in here from launch, but I will not complain too much. But now when we finally have it, it's going to be extremely good to have, especially the ruler designer. And it looks really well thought out, and I do like it. Now we could probably change our hairstyle to something slightly... Oh, oops. I still need to apply the changes, of course. Short, wavy, seems fine. But try out this patch, guys, if you have the game. If not, watch my episodes. I would like you to watch my episodes at least, because I'm going to play with this patch, and I'm probably going to start a new campaign in the next week. We're probably not going to play with the ruler designer in that campaign, I'm kind of sure, but we're going to play in this new patch, so stay tuned for that one. It's going to replace my Roman Empire campaign, which is going to be very fun. I'm just basing for my new setup, my new gear. I'm buying a new computer, as some of you may know, and it's not arrived yet. It's taken some time. There's some slight delays on the way. But I want to start up this new campaign with my new computer setup to make everything run more smoothly in the beginning. For example, that I should be able to play with higher graphics and less lag and no crashing, which will be amazing. Yeah, guys, that's going to be everything for me in this episode or this video on this patch, on patch 1.2 something. I think it's called 1.2. Yeah, it is. The Argent patch. Argent. If anyone is English speaking, you can hopefully tell me what that means. Argent. Because I don't know. Like, subscribe if you have enjoyed this video, guys. Have fun with this new patch, with the ruler designer. Play around with it. Create your own dynasty, your own history, and have fun. That's the most important thing. Have fun. This is a game. You should have fun. Or you can also watch my episodes, as I said. Coming out today and tomorrow and any day of the week, basically. But I'm going to see you soon, guys. So like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to, and see you soon. Bye.